Hello everybody, and welcome to a quick spotlight of a game. My game, as a matter of fact. Yes, this is Go Outside Simulator. It's a project I've been working on for a little bit, and it's finally been released on Steam, which is great. To start out with, there's two things I want to cover. First off, I'm using OBS Studios to record this video, and I use it for everything else, and it works great for other games, but for some reason, it works terribly with this. You'll see when I actually open up some of the levels, but it has compression issues where like the video looks like really janky and weird. You'll see what I'm talking about. But keep in mind that that isn't actually in the game. That's the recordings. The game itself looks fine. It's just the recordings look terrible, and I don't know why. I tried fixing it and fiddling with like the frame rate and all that, and I couldn't get it to stop. I could make it kind of stop if I reduced the aspect ratio down really small, but then it looked blurry and it wasn't worth it. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's any of like the bad visuals, that's OBS Studios, not the game. And secondly, this is a very, very basic game. It's very, very simple. It's hardly even a game at this point. It's actually more of a joke. Uh, there isn't much to do in it. It's an outdoor simulator. It literally is just an outdoor simulator. It has credits. It has the controls. It has level select. But in the actual levels themselves, there's 6 of them here. You just explore. We'll do the forest first. You can just wander around and look for things. There are Easter eggs in each level. There's a set number of them. I might add more in the future or replace some. I'm going to for sure edit and change the maps. Like here, I'll show you what I'm talking about when it comes to the OBS Studios breaking. Because like when I'm moving around and looking at the trees, they get like smeared and blurry, and it looks awful. So I'm just going to stop moving so it doesn't have to process that. I don't know why it does that, but it looks like that on most of the levels. I wonder if fraps would look better. I'm not sure. Either way, this is the forest. It's based off of kind of a meadowy forest. We have rolling hills and trees. This one's quite big. There's a lot to, well, not a lot to find, but there is a lot to walk around in. Each level is a set size. I will do a procedural level at some point down the future, just because that'd be kind of fun. But these ones are all set in size for the time being. And there's Easter eggs you can find. This one isn't terribly hard to find them because there's paths, but it's mostly just a forest you can wander around in. It's kind of fun. This main menu, or this pause menu, is absolute garbage, and I'm going to replace it because I hate it. I just put it in because it was functionality, basically. Here's the moon. I'm actually the most pleased with this one. This model I got off the Unity Asset Store. It's from NASA, actually. It was for a game contest they were doing where they gave out free space assets. This is nice. This is a nice asset. This is the moon. Here's a flag. I made this. This is the flag of Earth by James Cadle, because I didn't really want the American flag over here. But if you don't like it and you want the American flag, you can push it over. And there is an American flag right there, so settle down. This texture I mostly made myself, and by that I mean I made the tiling texture myself. But what I did was I couldn't find proper lunar like ground texturing, so what I did was I actually took some just free to use like public domain pictures of this moon's surface from orbit. Like, I think it's like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, and I found one of just a boulder field, and I edited it heavily and messed around with it, and then made it this tiling texture, so it looks like pebbles and rocks. But those are actually probably very large boulders taken from orbit. But this texture, if you look at it, it doesn't tile. Like it doesn't look like it's a tiley mesh. It looks like a fairly uniform ground, and I'm really proud of that. If you look carefully, you can sometimes find creases and corners where the meshes don't line up perfectly. Oh, here's one right here, like right there. You can kind of see that, but for the most part, it looks great. There are things you can find here, of course, as in every level, but we're going to carry on. So, next up is Forest Night. This one's kind of a Slenderman joke. Slenderman is not in it, mind you, but it's, as you can see, it's heavily influenced and based off that game. I need to actually playing this right now. The FPS is a little low. I need to fix the field of view to reduce that. Because right now it's loading more objects than it needs, so it's kind of janky. But that's an easy fix. But yeah, Forest Night. There isn't much to say about this one. It's harder to find things in this one. There's no visual cues on where you are, so it's really easy to get lost in this level. But again, there are Easter eggs in this level you can find, and you have to go find them. There's also like fallen trees and stuff, so there's more interest on the ground. It's kind of cool. Up next, we have Desert. Desert. This was the first level I made. Ooh, I need to fix that so you don't spawn so high up. Yeah, this was the desert. I need to fix the background because that looks terrible. But this was this was the first level I made for this, and it's just a desert. It's simple. It's fun. I'm gonna be redoing the dunes and stuff down the road to make them look better because they're a little too, I don't know. They're a little too artificial for my liking right now, but I'm gonna be fixing them down the road. So I accidentally clicked quit there, but whatever. Carrying on, we have the Arctic. This is a fun one. This one actually has 2 of my favorite Easter eggs in it. Now, the Easter eggs are all usually pop culture, memes, or historical references, or literary references. Like there's book references, movie references, and stuff like that. They're all references. If you find them, this one has 2 of my favorite ones in it that I'm actually quite proud of. So if you can find those, that'd be great. But it's also fun to kind of wander around. I did some work on the terrain and kind of gave it more of an Arctic-y look, but I need to work on that. This snow texture, by the way, is great. This was a tiling texture that I got, I forgot where, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't have tiling, it looks fantastic, so I'm really pleased with this one. Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. But anyways, yeah, so that's the Arctic. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. And then there's Backyard. This one's the smallest one, and this one also has the most stand-in assets. Now, what I mean by stand-in assets are assets that I put in that I'm going to replace later. This house, for example, it looks alright, but I'm going to be replacing it with one that I make myself later because it's a free asset. It was easy as a stand-in, but it doesn't quite fit what I was going for, so I'll make one myself. It's actually funny because there's a project I'm working on, like a simulation project I'm working on down like on the side, and it's like an internal building kind of room, and I've had to make everything myself, like the buildings, the lights, everything, and it looks really good. I'm quite pleased with it, but this game I use a lot of assets, and again there's that jaunty, I suspect anyways, jaunty looking OBS Studios compression. This grass does tile, and I don't like that, so I'm probably going to replace that with something that doesn't tile. I'm probably going to keep the shed, because it's fine. And people who make free-to-use assets in the Unity store are really good people. Like, people online, especially in the game community, the indie game community is full of either really good people or just really shitty people. But you have people who say, like, oh, Unity sucks. People just download a whole bunch of crap off the Unity store, throw it together, and boom, they have a game with no actual work. And it's like, you can do that, but it's honestly free. Using assets as to supplement stuff to save time is great. Like these table and chairs, for example, I had to add in the collision meshes and give them physics, but the textures and models themselves were just free to grab because I just needed literally a folding chair and a folding table and some folding chairs. So this saved me some time. So whoever made this did a grand job, and I'm glad they did it. So yeah, like, if you are in the indie game development market and you just shit on people because they use assets that people give out or whatever, don't be that way. Here's the barbecue. Because honestly, it saves time, and when doing stand-in stuff, like this house for example, it's not permanent, it's just a stand-in. It helps you build up the levels, so I really appreciate people who do asset stuff or who supportive communities. People who think Unity sucks, I get it, but at the same time, don't do game engine elitism. It's really not cool. So yeah, there you go. Go Outside Simulator. Incredibly pre-alpha, early access. You can get it now on Steam. It's 99 cents. I was originally going to make it free to play, but it's a long story, but I needed to have something generating income based off skills that I have. Weird, I know, but anyways, so I put enough energy into this that I figured I would just make this 99 cents. So it's still incredibly cheap. It'll remain cheap. Even as I add more stuff to it, I can't imagine it getting much more than that, honestly. It'll always be a cheap game, basically. No matter how complicated or big it gets, it'll always be cheap. So, you can get it now if you want. It's on Steam. I'll link description below. Don't expect anything grade A out of it. Don't expect gameplay. Don't expect much from it. It literally is just what it says. It's a go outside simulator, and it's incredibly early. So check it out if you want. If you want to get mad at me because it's crappy, you can if you want. But I've already warned you about that, so there's no point. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah.